Hello everyone. So today I was looking at this question on the community from Marco, and the question is, it's a bit interesting question. I mean, most of the questions that I try to answer and make videos, they are always interesting because I find all the questions interesting. But this one is definitely definitely going to help a lot of other users because I'm sure they want to do something similar with their Jira instance. Now this question is about optimizing the usage of apps. Now what Marco is trying to understand that in Jira, I'll try to read a couple of lines. So in Jira, we use apps like ScriptRunner, automation for Jira, Jira Misc workflow extensions, and Jira workflow toolbox. So we are talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and five apps, and most of these apps they do. If you talk about the use case or if you talk about the areas where these apps can be used, there is an overlap. And what Marco is trying to understand and trying to investigate whether he can use fewer apps and phase out apps like Jira workflow toolbox. So he gave me, or not me, but he actually gave this answer, or not answer, but this example of compare two values using, I guess, Jira workflow toolbox, or I don't really know which app. I think it is Jira workflow toolbox. So basically what Marco is trying to understand, can we use maybe fewer apps or just one app? So my response based on this particular question, by looking at ScriptRunner in the very beginning, I would say yes, you can definitely use a ScriptRunner and only ScriptRunner for achieving your enhancements, customizations, automations, and integration needs. Because when you're using an app like ScriptRunner, if you want to do something similar where you are basically comparing two values, maybe in a workflow condition or a validator, this is nothing complicated. In ScriptRunner, you have to write scripts using Groovy. And this question is, of course, about doing automation or optimizing the usage on the server. But even if you're using a ScriptRunner on cloud, you have to use Groovy. Groovy is the language. But of course, ScriptRunner for Jira on cloud is different because it relies on and it uses REST API. Now the thing is that if you're using ScriptRunner, you can actually cover a lot of different use cases, because when you talk about an app like ScriptRunner, you can basically have a scripted validator, you can have a script conditions, script post functions, script fields, behaviors, you can have listeners, you can have jobs, and you can do a lot of wonderful things. You can have custom REST endpoints. So there are so many things that you can do with ScriptRunner, and because you are writing your own script, you have flexibility. You can write scripts to target those business cases, those complicated scenarios where an app like, for example, if we talk about automation rules are great for doing simple automations where you don't really have a lot of complications, or I should say the business logic is not complicated. But if you want to do, let us say, a nested if condition, you can. But if we talk about automation, for example, you can have like if and else, but there is a limit on how much you can do with that, right? But when you have your own script, you can actually do those things very easily. For example, if you're parsing your body and you're doing something and you're looking for a keyword, so doing those things with a script, your own script is basically going to give you endless possibilities. I'm not really saying that you should over script your instance. You should try to optimize the usage of your scripts as well. But if you're trying to basically optimize the usage of your tools and you're comparing between ScriptRunner, automation for Jira, Jira Misc workflow extensions, and Jira workflow tools, then I don't really see the point of using these four. Just use ScriptRunner and look at your instance. I'm not really saying that these apps are bad, but I use all of them. In fact, I use automation quite a lot. But if your objective, if your goal is to save money and you want to optimize the usage at the same time, and you want your Jira instance to be manageable, then just use one app that can do each and everything. Also, at the same time, if you're planning to migrate to cloud, then of course the ScriptRunner can be used, but you might have to, you will have to write and rewrite your scripts again on cloud, because as I mentioned before, you have to rely on cloud. But that is something that you can of course plan. There is of course one con. I'm not really saying that using ScriptRunner is, everything is positive. When you're talking about scripts, you need a resource who can do it. Number one, either you will learn it yourself or you will hire someone. But in my opinion, even if you have little bit of programming experience, it is not really complicated thing to do. There are so many resources. You can, if you want to learn ScriptRunner, I will of course talk about my course. I have wonderful course, not just on ScriptRunner for Jira on server, but also on cloud. So you can take a look at my ScriptRunner for Jira, Mastering ScriptRunner for Jira playlist, and you can learn about ScriptRunner. I have plenty of examples. I have a lot of, whenever I talk about something that you can do with ScriptRunner, I also have a code with that particular video. So you can also take a look at my GitHub repository, where I have working examples of doing simple things that will give you knowledge to take your automation to the next level. And if in case you want to learn ScriptRunner, then I can definitely do that. So that is all I wanted to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new today. Thank you very much. Bye bye.